What's up, guys? It's
John.
Ken, Speakeasy Podcast. How's everyone doing?
How's everyone's doing?
How was everyone's doing today?
What's happening?
What is happening, bro? We've got a rye today. We're doing something fun. Yeah. I was talking to John. We've had the Michter's Toasted Rye on here. But I think when we did the Toasted Rye, we actually
did like a compare and contrast.
Yeah, did a compare. I don't think we actually featured the barrel strength rye. This is a Michter's.
Love Michters.
Yeah, Michter's good stuff, man. Coming in at, I have a few batches of this one, different batches, but this one in particular is 111.6 proof. It's hard to read because it's almost like it blends in with the
with the green.
Yeah, with the green. 111.6 proof. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this one when I had it. This one was from 2021, so it's a few years now. And I'm looking forward to doing this with you, John.
Yep. And this is going to be a strictly bourbon episode. We're going to talk some bourbon today.
Yeah, that's going to be our focus, I think. Bourbon fun. Oh, I should have used my Michter's glass when I'm doing this. Ooh,
One of my regrets from going.
Jeez, why did I pour myself so much?
You said you want to finish the bottle today.
No, not today. But yeah. There we go. Yeah. Nose, John. Get some of that rye spice. Yeah.
It's a little sweet.
Yeah, I get that kind of like sweet aromatics. What is there something else there, man?
When I get rye, I think I get maybe a little black licorice, a little anisette.
Yeah, some anise.
Anisette. Anisette's the cookie.
Well, you could say anisette if you meant the cookie. If
right?
you meant the cookie,
like the Stella d'Oro cookie.
I mean, you could say black jelly bean if you want. You know,
it smells good though.
I'm getting that root beer.
Root beer.
A little.
I don't know if I do or you put that in my head.
Oh yeah.
I get rye bourbon whiskey.
Yes.
Yeah.
I get that too.
Can we drink this?
Cheers.
Cheers. I took a big sip.
Ah, man.
Ooh,
I love this. I love this.
That's good. And I do taste black licorice. I taste like Mike and Ike.
Yeah.
Did you ever have Mike and Ike?
Yeah.
That's what I'm tasting. Is it Mike and Ike? No, Good and Plenty. I'm sorry. Good and Plenty.
Yeah, Mike and
That's
Ike is
the
the fruity ones.
Yeah.
Good and Plenty, yeah, the white and
The
pink.
white and pink with the black licorice inside.
So at my job, we eat a lot of those things. Like,
I love.
We use them as references a lot for
Really?
for sensory. Yeah. So even mainly for when we're working with pills because size of pills and things like that. So we have to it's so torturing because we have to swallow it.
Swallowed a Mike and Ike?
Yeah.
Or the Good and Plenty?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And we swallow Mike and Ike's too. So when you said Mike and Ike's,
You
I
don't
kind of
choke?
I knew what you were talking about, but because we always do like Mike and Ike's, Good and Plenty's, Tic Tacs, and we'll rate the size of each one and stuff like
Makes
that.
sense, makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
This is tasty.
Back to what we're talking about. Yeah, this is tasty.
This is very tasty.
But what are we getting too, man? I'm getting that rye spice too on there, though. It's
100%.
I can tell it's one of those things. It gives you that nice Kentucky hug. I can feel that warmth, but it's not like this is too hot.
Yeah, no.
You know?
It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect. Cold would ruin it. I think drinking it this way is the absolute best. Not that you have to. You can drink your bourbon any way you want.
Yeah.
But I believe this is the best way for this flavor.
Yeah, I'm getting some dark dried fruit maybe too in there too, man.
Water in there.
This is good. Very good. You tell that, Mike.
And Ike.
Mike and Ike. Yeah.
Man, that's good.
Yeah. I like this one, man. Michter's does some really good stuff. And I like how they have a lot of those options between your Michter's barrel strength rye or your Michter's toasted barrel rye or your Michter's toasted bourbon, your 10 years, your 10-year rye, 10-year bourbon. Then you got your 20 years. You got, I mean, they've got some cool options.
Yeah.
And even their basic stuff is not, it's pretty good stuff, man.
The only thing I do not like from Michter's, I believe, is the sour mash. I think that was the one that I did not like.
Well, they have the toast. I think it was a toasted sour mash or something too, as well.
Why do you look down at me? Because you know I have those round things in my wallet.
No, because I think I have my Michter's on that shelf on your left. I was wondering if I have that. I have the sour mash there somewhere, but yeah, I think it was a toast. No, top. I think above the top shelf. Oh, they're there? All right. That's a toasted, regular toasted. Yeah. Barrel strength. Yeah.
It just goes on and on.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyways, yeah, I think I have the sour mash. I think it was a toasted sour mash.
You have cameras down here?
Yeah, I got a lot of cameras down here. Yeah. But
I always refer back to my... I still kept them. Nope, that's our stickers.
Oh, the barrel strength bourbon. That was the other one. That was your favorite.
The barrel strength was my favorite, yeah. The American whiskey
How
was
do you
good.
keep those in your wallet, Mr. George
Kentucky
Costanza?
straight rye.
Yeah.
The sour mash was my least favorite.
Yes, that's everyone. I find that most people that's their least favorite. And then also with Michter's is you get your shanks and your bomb burgers as well.
Hmm.
I mean, they
What's
got a
the
lot.
difference in these two?
Let's check it out.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
can't see so well, so
Oh.
you can probably read those better.
Yeah, one small batch yellow's barrel strength. Black one's
Okay.
barrel strength. That was the best.
That was the best one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then just the regular small batch is like the one you could buy for like 30 something bucks at the store,
Right.
But yeah, this is solid stuff.
That's a good one, too, though. That $37, like, Michter's.
Yeah.
That's a good, solid
Yeah.
go-to type of
Yeah.
bourbon.
Yeah. There's some good ones out there,
I remember, because when we went there, we were not looking forward to it. We were hungover. We didn't want to be there.
Man.
And then as soon as I took that sip, I was like, I like
I
Michter's.
felt a little better, but I still had the gotta hope there's a toilet nearby.
Were you a Michter's fan? Is that why you wanted to go there? Like, were you a Michter's fan before?
I actually, when I first really got into bourbon, Michter's was like that was my favorite, I would say.
Really?
Yeah. I liked Michter's a lot.
Why does somehow I feel like you didn't shit on Michter's, but it was just like, it's Michter's.
Depends what it is, I think. Depends what we were talking
I don't know
about.
why I'm getting that vibe.
No.
That I was getting that vibe. And now every time we come here and I drink Michter's, like, I'm looking for it.
Yeah.
If I go out to a place, I'm like,
No.
ooh, Michter's.
I don't know. I think you maybe
Maybe I'm mistaken.
Yeah, mistaken. Yeah, I do like Michter's. I've liked Michter's. Like I said, it was one of my original go-tos when I first started getting into bourbon. I bought the regular small batch Michter's, and I was like, "Wow, this is a good bourbon. This is good. I can drink this." Granted, I didn't know as much back then, but it was still like it was a good go-to for me to have the regular Michter's. And I don't know where you might have thought that.
Yeah, I don't know. I really did think that for some reason. But anywho,
But I also wanted to check out the bar upstairs while we were there. We never did. I know. People are looking at us right now and are like, really? You went to Michter's and you didn't go to the bar upstairs? It's like...
we keep talking about another guy's trip, and I would never deny going back to do the stuff we
never
missed or...
Deny that, John. We were talking about another trip, yeah.
I wouldn't be opposed.
If we did that one trip we were
back.
talking about, maybe it's it could be driving distance from there, so,
Yeah, good.
A couple hours. Could be. You never know. You never know what's in store.
Yes, sir.
Another whiskey thief run,
Ooh.
Yeah.
So now that when you first started drinking bourbon,
Yeah.
you like your Michter's, whatever.
Yeah.
What do you consider yourself now? Do you consider yourself a bourbon drinker? I just like bourbon. I'm just going to drink it. Or do you think of yourself as, I'm not just going to drink bourbon, but I'm a collector?
I'm not I collect certain things.
Kind of a stupid question.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I collect certain bourbons. I see where you're going with this, though, because a lot of times people are just buy bourbon and don't drink it. Then you have your collectors and then you have your drinkers, and you have people that are kind of in between.
I'm a drinker.
Yeah.
As soon as I can't wait to get home to pop that bottle open. I'm going to taste it.
And you'll see it often here on the podcast. I'll be like, oh, yeah, I've had this sealed for 2 years or 3 years or whatever. So it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm a collector on that respect, only because a lot of times I have too many open bottles, and I just want to drink what I have first just before I start cracking new things open. But There are exceptions. For instance, I have a Rip Van Winkle 10-year. Okay?
Right.
I got a good deal on it. I got a good price on it, everything and whatever. And
4,638 cents.
no. We're talking
No, I know.
a couple $100 maybe. But it's one that goes for a lot more than what I got it for. So I've had it before. So this is what I do. Sometimes we do it with our buddy Jay. We'll go somewhere and we'll try something out that even if we own it, we'll spend a little of that money just to try it.
So you don't have to crack your own open.
Yes. Well, to see if it's worth the hype. So, say we try something that, say it's a Rip Van Winkle 10-year, and we tried it, and we're like, this is fantastic. Then I may consider
opening it.
Because I like it that much. I want to keep it. I want to drink it, et cetera, et cetera.
What if it's not that good?
That's when you keep it sealed.
Or do you just sell it right away?
You can do that too, or trade it.
In case it goes.
Yeah, exactly, which does happen in the bourbon world. Things have dropped. I find that the bourbon prices on some of those allocated things have been dropping lately.
But I notice also you have multiple bottles of quite a few stuff.
Yeah.
Would you consider that because you're a collector? Or do you consider it because I love this so much, I want 25 backups? Or option C is, I know this is sought after. I'm going to buy 5 of these because I know I can trade off 3 for something I don't have.
I think that's probably the better option there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of times, and it's almost back in the day, people would get ticked off at people like this, where they would come, and it's happened to me before because I've seen it. I went to a store one time, and it was Stag Junior.
Somebody bought all of them off the shelf?
I bought all of them off the shelf.
You were the asshole?
I was the asshole. I didn't buy all of them. I always leave a couple or something, but they had a whole freaking shelf of Stag Junior, and it was going for $50-something. And within like a year, the secondary was getting close to $300 for a bottle of that. It's dipping down again a little bit now. It's like stocks here, as far as prices go. But I bought them, a few of them, and the good thing about Stag Junior for me is it's one of my freaking go-tos. It's one of my favorite actually bourbons I like to drink, and I kind of was like, well, I like it a lot, and it's good bait. If I want to trade it or whatever, I can get something that's higher. Because now, after collecting for some time, say you go from like 3 bottles, and you may have like 6 bottles, 7 bottles, 8 bottles, whatever. Now you say, okay, well, I can give up a couple of these ones because I have enough to last me for some time. You know, but that's a good go-to for me there.
Okay.
So yeah, there are some instances where I've bought bourbon I've had a that I didn't like, that wasn't good at all, but I've bought it because I said I can trade this for something I kind of really do like, and someone who likes it will go for it.
There's always somebody out there. There's always a sucker.
Yeah, there's always someone. I've picked up bourbons too from people that I'm like, why did I do this? It's not that good or whatever.
Because down here with your collection, there's more than what meets the eye. You have multiple bottles, especially behind here. What do you have back there? Is that New Riff? What's that?
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of that.
I have a few bottles.
You have a few bottles. Now, are those chip pieces, trading chip pieces, or are those something that you really like it? I know we've had it. I can't remember.
I got them for
early on when we started doing.
Yeah, I got them because I liked it. Yeah,
you liked it.
Yeah,
okay.
I got it because I liked it. I like when things have certain characteristics, like New Riff had different kinds of ryes and different types of things. So they were a little more experimental. So sometimes I'll get something too because I'm like, well, I haven't had that type of rye. I haven't tried this kind of rye before, and it's exciting almost. It's like when we had Amberana for the first time. You know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we like it. A lot of people don't like Amberana.
Jay can't stand Amberana.
Yeah,
I love Amberana.
Yeah, and I remember I sent Dustin the Amberana.
He doesn't like the Amberana either.
He
right?
didn't seem like he was too into it. Yeah. So sometimes it's people's cup of tea. Sometimes it's not. But yeah, sometimes I'll get things if it's just something different, something new. Texas whiskey, for instance, like a Balcones, that tastes totally different than your normal whiskey.
Right.
And it's nice for a change of pace. It's nice if you're in that mood. It's like having scotch. Scotch is like you can have scotch from whatever region of Scotland. It could be have a little bit of that vanilla flavor, a little bit of lemongrass flavor, a little bit of that smoky, peaty flavor. You know,
Right.
There's earthy, whatever it is.
I'll go to Good Times. I mean, so we love the Good Times. I love the Good Times anyway.
That's a
'cause
good example. Great
I love
example.
the flavors.
Yeah.
And I'm a TikTok guy, and I follow a lot of bourbon guys. And when they go live,
Yeah.
I actually go into their room and I chat with them. They'll ask me questions. I'll ask them questions.
All right.
And the one thing I always bring up is the Good Times.
They shit on it.
They don't shit on it.
Oh, really?
But they make comments, whereas it tastes good when you drink it. He goes, but I'm not into it because it's a gimmick.
All right.
You know, you're flavoring your bourbon, and your bourbon shouldn't be flavored. It is what
All
it
right,
is.
but I think there's a difference though between taking like a flavor and dropping it into your bourbon. Like you could have like a what's that cinnamon flavored one whiskey? What is it?
Fireball.
Yeah, Fireball.
Right.
We're not doing Fireball. They're actually taking that bourbon and putting it in a cask.
It's just a different other barrel.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's getting the flavor from that. It's
Yeah.
not, like you said, it's not extracts. It's not
Yes.
this. It's not that.
We're not adding. They're not adding something. They're not like, oh, let's put cocoa flavor, banana flavoring in this, or anything.
And
like
believe
that
it or
sort.
not, that's my comeback sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'll say that. And I'll say, well, there's no additives. It's just being stored into another barrel for a while.
Yeah.
And their comeback or their answer to that is always, well, it's a gimmick. That's how they're going to get get you to buy their stuff. Bourbon should be straight up. Blah, 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 blah. I don't say I disagree. I don't say I agree. I enjoy Good Times.
Well, I would agree with them that where it's, after you take it from your bourbon barrel and put it into something else, it's not bourbon
It's not
anymore.
bourbon anymore.
Yes.
Right. And we've talked about that.
Yeah.
But that's one of my huge things. As soon as I go onto these bourbon guys' pages, and we talked about, so I brought up even like the C923 from Elijah Craig.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, that's the best. That's the best. That's the
That's always
best.
should come back.
That's always my.
That's how he redeems himself.
That's how I
for bringing
redeem
up
myself.
Coons to good times.
Yeah, you're right.
What about that C923?
Oh, that I agree with you with. Yeah, so I'm back in your favor. Okay.
Yes. Oh, the C923.
That's what I'm drinking right
The
now. Even though I got
elusive
chocolate honey bourbon in my.
C923 from Elijah Craig, barrel proof. Yes.
Because I'm a bourbon drinker. I'm not a collector.
Yeah.
I have bourbons that we've done on the show that I brought in, and we're like, I have a bourbon that I want to bring in that I'm afraid to bring in because I mentioned it to you, and you were like,
There's some bourbons like that also I don't open because of a certain reason. Like, all right, let me give you a great example right here. If you can grab that bottom, the left next right here. Yep, that one there. So this is a bottle my wife got me for Father's Day, and it's called Father Time. And it's Jim Gaffigan. He's at bourbon. He's into bourbon.
we brought this on the show. I believe we brought this up.
Okay, did we?
Good time for this, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect example.
And it's signed by Jim Gaffigan. So part of me is like, I don't want to open it. It's signed. I feel like I'm ruining it if I open it and it's a signed bottle from Jim Gaffigan, And
This is where I'll agree with you.
yeah. And my wife's like, you're never going to try it? And I'm like, well, I don't know.
I'll go buy another bottle and open it.
Well, yeah, I'm hoping that next year he comes out with a batch 2 and I could try his batch 2. You
don't have another one of those?
I do.
Okay, yeah, I thought so. Did you open it?
No.
What are you waiting for? That's the one you should open now.
I know. I got another because if I want to open it now I can. Yeah.
You should open it. You should just autograph it and tell her that's the one, and I'm going to open it tonight, honey. And that's what you do.
I know, but then I'm like, maybe I should just wait for a batch 2 to come out. Now I got 2 bottles that are signed, and I'm like, I don't know. It wasn't like break the bank crazy expensive, but still.
No, but it's a cool keepsake.
Yeah. Which, not to be confused with Father Time. It's supposed to be Father Time, like Dad Time.
Right.
Time to drink, time to whatever.
But I think my thing with that is if it's gifted to me, I have to open it.
I know. I hear you. Like
I said, I have quite a few bourbons that were gifted to me.
Yeah.
I brought most of them here. We've done them.
Yeah.
There's one I haven't brought yet that was gifted to me. And I've only done it when I opened it when it was gifted to me. I have never drank it since.
Why? It was not good.
It's not bad. But, obviously I don't want to bring, my stuff here and then I get those looks, and
It wasn't good. No, I'm joking.
it's from St. Augustine, Augustine Distilling. Yeah.
Okay. John, you're at this place right now, John, for your wife.
Yeah, I'm scared. I can't be a collector.
No. But you're at this place right now where your wife has all the cards in their table. She can buy you bourbon still.
Oh, yeah,
She
absolutely.
can buy you as gifts for Christmas, birthdays, etc. She can get you a different bottle of bourbon.
Should be stupid not to.
And yeah, because
It's an easy out.
it's so easy. And in my case, my wife's like, I can't buy bourbon for you anymore because you have everything.
Right,
You know, so I'm like, and you know too much, whatever, like what you like. All Mel has to do, your wife has to do is text me, what should I get John? And I'll be like, all right.
I tell my wife, if it's got double oak on the bottle, buy it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah.
if it's from Woodford, buy it. If it's from Michter, buy it.
Mm-hmm.
She actually called me up. She was in BJ's, and they had the Michters, and it was on sale.
Yeah.
And she's like, do you like this one? And I was like, yeah, it's awesome. And she's like, all right, is this a good price? I was like, it's about the same as, it wasn't really that much cheaper.
Yeah.
And she's like, all right, I'm going to buy it for you. And I was like, no, hold up. Don't buy it yet. Because I want her to buy me something else. And I'm like, don't buy it. Because I can buy that. That's cheap. You know what I mean? When it's going to be a gift,
Yeah.
I want a Woodford double oak. I want something else.
Yeah.
So.
But it goes back to, as far as collecting things, trade-worthy stuff. I went into Bottle King last week, and I go to the guy. I know the Bottle Kings had gotten some pretty decent allocated things for the last few weeks or whatever. They were getting some good stuff. And Bottle King's great because they always charge you MSRP. It's never like crazy, but the prices are never crazy there. And I go to the guy. I'm like, oh, do you have anything? I heard the other Bottle King. There's one not too far from there. I'm like, oh, I heard Bottle King Morris Plains got some decent stuff. I was at the one in Ledgewood. I heard they got some, some good bottles recently. How'd you guys make out with that? He's like, I'm like, he's like, I could check the back and see if we got anything. And I was like, yeah, if you don't mind. I'm just looking stuff that's not necessarily on the shelves. See what you have, whatever. And he comes out and he has a bottle of Blanton's. And part of me is like, I'm not a big Blanton's, I'm not like, I think Blanton's very overrated, but it's great. Like, once again, it's good trade bait,
Yeah.
If I want to trade it or something or whatever. He comes out with the Blanton's, and a part of me is like thinking in my head, Ken, you're looking smug right now because you're not reacting the way your typical customer might react when you're getting Blanton's. And I was kind of like, oh, cool. Initially I was like, oh, yeah. And then when he came out, I was like, all right, even if it's a fake smile, because you don't want to, like, shit on what they're giving you.
Right.
And I was like, thanks, man. This is awesome, bro. I love this. I try to hype it up more.
it?
Yeah, because it's worth the, it's what they charge for it. And like I said, it's good trade bait.
That's hysterical because that's my exact same story. And I've mentioned it to you, and I've said it on here. Months ago, I was in ShopRite Liquors over in Lyndhurst.
Yeah.
And I was like, you got anything? Trying to be the tough guy.
Yeah.
And even my wife's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
What do you mean, anything in the back? What does that even mean?
Yeah.
I go, bud, you got anything in the back over there? And he's like, oh, I don't know. We don't really keep anything in the back. I was like, yeah, you got to have something in the back. And he's like, all right, let me go look. And he came out with a Blanton's.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's the last one, man, 95.
Did you buy it?
I didn't because I was like, I don't want a Blanton's. Like, that's not what I was hoping he came out with.
And it was 95?
It was 95.
Yeah, okay, I didn't pay that
Yeah.
much. So, it would have been like...
So I was like, I go, that's an awesome one. I go, but keep that for somebody else. I already have it. Even though I don't. I was like, keep that for somebody else. I already have it.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay.
Yeah.
But it was like,
I know.
I got a Blanton's. And I was like, oh. Nah.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was even looking for, to be honest with you. It was dependent on what he came out with. And I would like a Blanton's just to have as for my collection.
It's a cool bottle.
It's a cool bottle.
Yeah.
And, we went to Buffalo Trace. That's what they were bottling.
I hate to say it, but nowadays $90 is not a bad price. But I didn't, like I said,
I should have bought it. I don't know if it's cheap. I don't know. I don't know which one it was, to be honest with you. But I was like, I got that. Save that for somebody else.
Who's messing with my... Oh, no, that was me messing with it. Because I cracked open a new Blanton's here. I don't go through it super fast. I noticed it was backwards, but I got to fix it at some
They
point.
all face the same way.
Yeah. Well, but yeah, as far as collecting goes, I would say if you want to say, Ken, are you a collector or are you a drinker?
You're a little bit of both.
I'm both.
Yeah,
I think I collect some. Some of the antique series. My whole thing is this, and I've said it on the podcast before in the past, but I can't expect everyone to watch every episode, so I'll repeat myself. If I think no bourbon is worth the price of some of these bourbons out there. I don't think any bourbon is worth the price of anything that exceeds $500. To be honest with you, no. I had a Michter's 20 year not too long ago with Jay, and we had it. It was delicious. It was great. But do I think it's a Michter's 20-year price tag, which is, you're talking a couple $1,000 here? No, it's not worth that at all.
Yeah, see, I would, if me and you went somewhere and they had like a Pappy, a Michter's, whatever, and it's like we had to put in $60 each just to try a 2-ounce pour, an ounce and a half. Mm-hmm. I'd rather do that and say, hey, I've had that before.
Yeah.
Than actually have it on my shelf for $1,000 or $500, whatever it is. I'd rather put out that little bit of money and be like, I've gotten in my life to taste that.
Yeah.
But I'm not putting it on my shelf for that price.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not worth it. It's a cool factor, For me, I have the bar or whatever, and I'm like, oh, cool. I got
Sure.
I got a couple allocated ones. I got a birthday bourbon. I got this or I got that,
I mean, you're talking with somebody, and, even when we went to Old Forester over in Kentucky, right? And Dustin bought the flight with, like, the birthday bourbon. And what was the other one? The
President.
Yeah. It's cool to say, I took a sip and I tasted it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that shit's never, ever going to be on my shelf because I can't.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not going to buy it.
I know. And Dustin shared that. Yeah, but I tried it too. I was like, dude, thanks. it's cool to try.
That's a pricey flight.
Yeah, it's cool to try, man. It's awesome stuff. Yeah, it's nice to say I've tried it before, but it also kind of reaffirms, certain things too, that you don't need to spend $1,000 to have a bourbon that's pretty close to some of these higher end bourbons.
Exactly.
If I were to do it again, I would probably have 4 bottles higher. And they would be just 4 go-tos that I love, that I can drink all the time, and just rotate those ones that are maybe not as hard to get. But then again, if the way you look at it, I would never know that they were the ones I liked unless I tried all of them.
Well, let's do it. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
And not to say that it's shitty.
Yeah, it is shitty.
One bourbon that you could think of that you're like, man, I wish I didn't fall for that. Or I wish I didn't buy that. Or I wish I didn't pay that much for it. It's not worth it. And not to shit on the bourbon itself, but sometimes things are priced higher than they should be.
But it depends on your palate too, and what you like, and how you.
Ken himself, is there one thing back here that you
does it have to be a high-priced bourbon?
No, absolutely not.
All right. I mean, I would say maybe like a Basil Hayden Toasted or something like that. I tried it. I thought it was, but it wasn't because it was bad. It's just too weak for me. I like higher proof stuff. Okay. I like things that are,
And it's funny that you say that because Basil Hayden, I think, is one of the first bourbons I've really had when we started doing this show.
Yeah.
And I had somebody ask me, what kind of bourbon you like? And I was like, Basil Hayden, because I didn't know much.
I'm not shitting on all.
And they
Basil
bought me
Hayden.
the dark rye.
Yeah.
And it's good.
Yeah.
I like the dark rye. It's not one of my faves now.
Yeah.
But I like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, same.
For me, it's
Basil
just
Hayden.
it's
I probably wouldn't
boozy,
buy Basil Hayden when I see it.
I mean, I've gotten some more smaller distillery stuff,
or Peerless. Peerless is one of the first ones we've had on the show as well.
It depends. I mean, Peerless Rye is known, that's a thing, But I actually like this double oak here. This is fantastic. This is really good.
Anything double oak is fantastic.
Yeah, it's nice and chocolatey, bro. So yeah, I mean, I like the Peerless. I mean, I love the cigar blend, man.
I love that one, dude. If I could, I can't even find that anymore.
I can tell you. Can drive right now. I'll tell you where to get it. Yeah, but you're going out of your way. Actually, not too far out of your way. No, you're not too far. They have it at Bottle King in Ledgewood. They've had it.
That's like $95 for the bottle, $125.
No, it's more.
Oh, fuck, forget it. It's stupid to me. If I got to pay more than $125, to me, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, but they have
That's
it.
my cap, $125.
They have it. I think it's like $180. But they
I
have
have
it.
to be drunk already, and
That's
go.
bottle and that's Bottle King. Like that's the cheapest you're gonna get it. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, they have it there. They've had it there the last couple times I've been up there. I was there yesterday. I stopped. I was picking up sushi right near there. I was like, yeah, let me see what they have anything about. Can I stop there? And they still had it behind the glass.
Four Roses. Overrated, underrated, perfectly rated.
Well, it's too tough to tell because Four Roses has so many variations. It's unbelievable how many variations they have. For me, I think it. All right, I don't want to say it's overrated or underrated. I think it is
Perfectly rated.
It's good rated, but then you get something like, if I were to say the 2021 limited edition, I think the 2021 might be a little overrated because I didn't think it held up to what it is.
Is that a gimmick?
No, there's no gimmick. You got to remember when you're buying something.
Why would you label it special edition?
Because the way when things are aged longer, things that are that one's a blend though, but yeah.
Silence. The silence is killing me.
Yeah, I think they did with this the limited edition. These, they actually blend.
Because I feel like you can throw limited edition on anything, and now all of a sudden it's limited edition. You can't get it anywhere.
And that's where the thing that confuses me too with the whole barrel strength.
It's the same.
So I think with the limited edition, they're actually blending barrel strength ones. All their barrel strengths, but that always confuses me because they're called barrel strength. It's misconceiving. I think how they put that out there.
But do you agree that that's how they get you? They'll call it a limited edition, but really is it?
Yeah.
It's this, but we're running low, so we're going to mix it with this, and now limited edition.
No, because if they couldn't charge the price tag that they charge if it wasn't
But I guess they could if it's
but then people are going to
after.
call you out right away. The bourbon geeks are going to be like,
Yeah.
I'm not buying this anymore.
Okay.
This is a waste of my money.
All right. And I'm not shitting on Four Roses. I'm just using that because it's right here.
I mean, look at
And Four Roses was one of my favorite tours we did.
Look at Blacken. Metallica's Blacken.
You're
that's
paying for Metallica.
Yeah, but that's actually the Black and Willet combination was actually pretty. I like that one. I actually thought that was a pretty good one. And then you have something like they had the Wes Anderson or something like that, Black and collab. That one is definitely not as popular, as the Black and Willet.
If we redid our Kentucky trip, Willet is a place where we have to go back.
Yeah, we spent
way too short of
Dude, how funny was it, bro? Because John's like, he got something, whatever, and I was like, oh, dude, they have a Willet bourbon, like, 5-year. You just don't see it by us. You can't find it by us. It's not the most expensive option, but it was like, it's still like the cool, like, it was the cheapest one I could get where you can get a free glass. And I was drinking the glass in the store, and everyone's like, which one did you get? Like, which purple top are you drinking
mine was
right
in like
now?
a plastic cup.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, which one did you get? Which one did you get? And I'm like, it was a 5-year.
And I don't remember the one I had, but I remember being really good.
Yeah.
It was cheap.
Yeah. I mean, this was the cheapest of those options, I think. And I was
It
like,
was the purple top you got.
yeah, it was a purple top, but yeah, I didn't know which. I mean, it was a 5-year.
But we didn't spend enough time there. It was an awesome looking place.
John and I were making pretty decent time as far as how much we were doing before we had our distillery tour at Heaven Hill.
Yeah.
So we had gone to Jim Beam. We had one quick cocktail and lunch. We ate real quick there and everything. Did a little walking around. Nothing too crazy. Didn't spend crazy amount of time there. And then we're like, all right, let's get to Heaven Hill. We get to Heaven Hill. We were a little early.
Willet wasn't even on our game plan, right?
Not necessarily. I knew there could be an option though for it.
Yeah.
And that's probably why maybe I rushed us out of Jim Beam. And I'm like, we get there a little early, and we still had a little time. I was like, bro, Willet. It's right there. We could check it out. We could run in, grab a drink, walk around, do a quick clip for the podcast, and get the hell out, because we had our appointment for the our booking at Heaven Hill. So we're like, all right.
Which was awesome.
Yeah, that was cool.
There's just 3 of us.
I remember sitting in that room, and they had like this like simulated. We were in this barrel or whatever, and the flames are going and everything.
Watching the video.
Yeah, that was cool. My only regret for that is not. I wish we did our craft our own bourbon there. That one.
Which would you want?
at Heaven Hill, they had the make your own bourbon. You know how the selects and stuff.
Yeah.
I kind of wish we did that. We originally planned to do that, but then we're like, I don't know if timing's going to work because we needed to book a certain time, et cetera, et cetera. So,
Well, as soon as the guys text us we were there, we're like, gotta
go. So, just quick background on that. We were meeting up with our buddies, big that were a big fan of their band and everything, Poor Man's Poison, and we're like, we got to make sure we don't want to be.
Because we were like 45 minutes away.
Yeah. We're like, we'll be there. I had to stop at the supermarket. I had to get my coffee, my cold brew coffee, Starbucks, to put in my fridge when we get to the hotel because I'm like,
chips. We needed chips.
Chips,
and cold brew
we bought
coffee.
a lot
and
of
water,
chips.
And water.
Yeah, and water. We bought a case of water, I think, and we're like, screw it, whatever.
Hey, when we sat down at the hotel all night long, we were out there drinking in the back.
Yeah.
We provided water and chips.
I think
everybody was happy.
I think we gave those guys a bunch of bottles.
Everybody was happy.
Yeah. We're like, we got a lot of water here. We're not gonna finish it within 4 days.
I wouldn't be opposed to doing that trip over again, whether it would be this year, next year, 2 years.
Yeah, with those guys too. Yeah.
Those guys, us, like whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a good time. It just unfortunately time is against us sometimes, and we try to fit a lot in. I think we did.
I think we did pretty damn good.
I think we do it differently though. I think we would do it differently where.
Well, we did the tour stuff.
We did a lot of the tours. We wouldn't go to the same distilleries. I think we just the memorable ones. I would do Heaven Hill again. I think
I would do Heaven Hill again. I'd go back to Whiskey Thief.
Willet, obviously.
I'd go back to Michter's, not to do the tour, but to go to the bar. And Willet, yeah. Willet, I don't even count.
Yeah. I want to go back to All Forester Bar downstairs. That was cool, though, man. That was a good. We lost one of the guys from our group, and
yeah, saw him the next day. And we didn't get to do Angel's Envy.
Yeah.
Which was on the same strip, but it was a little farther down.
Yeah, I know.
What are your feelings about Angel's Envy?
I'm not a big Angel's Envy guy. And it's weird because I know I'm going to make a comment. Oh, those sherry cask finish and this stuff and everything with Angel's Envy. But I'm like, but then again, I like good times. So I don't want to be a hypocrite.
And we went into the Bardstown. Was it Bardstown?
Yeah.
But we weren't impressed. It looked uppity.
Yeah.
I would rather go to the original Bardstown and not just like the storefront.
Exactly. Yeah. I think I agree with you. I think I'd rather go to the, all the original, this, that, whatever. I think the one thing that we can agree on that we would definitely do again, without question, is
Whiskey Thief.
Whiskey Thief.
Yeah. We didn't have much time there.
Yeah. We
did good because
we did all right.
We didn't do the tour.
We skipped the tour because of Whiskey Thief.
It was only like $15 for a flight of 4 or 5, and they give you this glass, and it was at our own pace, and it was awesome. It was awesome, and they had beers there. It was great, good time. Music, guy playing the guitar. It was good.
I mean, as far as bourbon goes, though, and all this stuff goes, let me ask you just to piggyback on what we've been talking about and bourbon and how we drink it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Pour myself just a
tiny,
go
ahead.
Tiny,
I don't care.
Tiny splash.
Do you have food with your bourbon? The sound effects. Yeah. Do you eat with your bourbon? Do you snack with your bourbon? Do you have anything that you like to do or eat or have when you're drinking bourbon?
I do, actually.
What's your go-to?
It's probably the same thing that you would eat or drink with beer, but I love nuts when I'm drinking bourbon. I love nuts.
I know, me too.
Nuts and pretzels are the two things that
I got the peanut butter pretzels here, man. I can do those with my bourbon once in a while.
But I do love nuts when I'm drinking bourbon.
Yeah.
Because it's like sip. It's something you can put in your hand, shake it,
Yeah.
I wouldn't do like ice cream or
So let me ask you this though. It's gonna sound silly, maybe. Maybe it's not. I don't know. If you have a bourbon you've never tried before, and you got your nuts sitting on the table.
Yes, sir.
Your peanuts. Mm-hmm. I mean, your peanuts, not penis.
Mm-hmm.
If you have it sitting on the table, and you poured that glass, and it's sitting there, and you have your nuts there, do you grab your nuts?
No. I am going to wash my mouth out with as much water as possible. I need that palate clean.
Yeah.
Because I need that first taste without shit in my mouth.
I know. I would even sometimes I'll even finish the bourbon before having the nuts. And then I'll grab another bourbon. I'm like, wait, hold on. let me have that other bourbon before I eat those nuts. It's probably a good thing because we're not eating as much. But
There's a couple times where I sat on the couch and I'm watching TV and I'll pour
yeah,
a bourbon and I'll sit there and even like 10 minutes will go by and I'm like, oh shit, my bourbon's sitting in my glass. I didn't even take a sip yet
yeah,
because I'm letting it sit.
yeah.
And then I'll take a couple sips and I'll decide what I want to snack with it. Once I have that sip.
Yeah. Yeah. You need that. You need that.
You need to figure it out. Well, this would be great with a pretzel right now.
I know.
You know?
Or cheese.
This will be great with yes, I can do cheese. This will be great with some cheese.
Tostitos or whatever, you could have like corn chips or Fritos or anything of that sort, where you're kind of like.
I'll take a couple sips and then that depends on what I'm going to have with me.
Yeah, it had popcorn too. Sometimes popcorn's not.
Is that weird though?
No, because it's normal to want to munch while you're having a couple of drinks, and then listen, I'll do that any day. I am one of the. I'm a bourbon fan. I'm a bourbon drinker, and I think it's almost, at least this point in my life, sacrilegious to have a cigar with your bourbon.
I don't do cigars.
I don't do
have
cigars.
In the past.
I've smoked cigars before,
right?
And it leaves such a nasty taste in your mouth. Like how. I don't know. Maybe that's a thing. Maybe people like the taste of bourbon and cigars in their mouth. I guess that's what it is.
I mean, mine is not even that. Mine is I'm a former smoker, and I want to take the big puff and the inhale and let it out.
Yeah.
And I just don't see a need to smoke a cigar.
Yeah.
If I'm not inhaling and I'm not like.
All right. So for you, it's something different. For me, it's like.
And I'm afraid if I do a cigar, I'm going to go back to smoking cigarettes.
All right. But for me, I'm like, you're taking something like a bourbon that could have been aged in this barrel for whatever amount of years, and it's just doing its work for you. It's been patiently waiting to be consumed by you, and you go and you take a cigar.
You're masking.
And you're like saying, you're like, dude, this is what I taste like. Taste me the way I'm supposed to be tasted. Do not take that smoke and put it in your mouth and drink this bourbon. I don't know. It's a thing. People like it. People want bourbon and cigars. I mean, they created your cigar blend bourbons, which are intended to be halved when you have your cigar, like this Joseph Magnus here.
Right.
And I understand. I see it, but I'm like, shit, man, this is such a good bourbon without that cigar.
I agree. I agree 110%.
Yeah.
Because cigars leave such a taste in your mouth where everything tastes different after that.
Yeah. I don't know. But then again, some people might say that's what makes it like right. Maybe they're like, it's a perfect blend between smokiness and bourbon. I don't know.
How about not even snacking? How about meals? Would you go somewhere out to eat and have a glass of bourbon neat with your dinner?
Not really.
No, right?
No. As a dessert.
A dessert, an after dinner drink.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
But are you sitting there eating like your cheeseburger and fries and then like sipping on your bourbon?
Kind of. If I'm having an old fashioned, that's it.
Well, an old fashioned's a cocktail.
Yeah.
But I mean a neat.
No, never.
Because I'll do the same. I'll get an old fashioned because it won't bloat me like beer will.
Yeah.
So I'll sip on that because it's a drink.
Yeah. But yes, not neat. No. Because it's just weird though too, because it's got that heat and you're kind of like you're mixing it in with a greasy burger. I don't know.
That's what I did in when I went to the Bahamas in February.
Yeah.
I ordered my steak dinner and I ordered I don't even remember what kind of bourbon it was, but I had it neat, and I'm sitting there eating like my, and I'm like, this doesn't go.
No, it doesn't work.
Because I want my water. I want something a cocktail. I need something in my mouth.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work.
No, you can't do that. You can't. But then again, like Freddie at Buffalo Trace says, there's no wrong way to
drink a bourbon.
To drink your bourbon if that's what you like, I guess. I don't know.
And I find myself not using ice at all. I don't want it iced down.
Okay.
At all.
You were pretty quick. You were pretty quick.
I think I was pretty quick, right?
to get over that phase of icing.
That's bad. That means you're a bad influence.
No, it took me a lot longer. I mean, I'm talking for me personally. Granted, it wasn't bourbon. I was drinking scotch on the rocks and things like that. But I was drinking other forms of whiskey on the rocks for a good couple years before I even was doing bourbon or anything. I mean, I'm just going to say whiskey right now. I was doing whiskey on the rocks for a couple years before I drank it neat. you did it within
It was pretty quick, yeah.
a couple months,
Yeah.
maybe.
I was at my brother-in-law's for a barbecue the other
Yeah.
day, and he had some. Oh, you know what? It was really good. I got to find out the name. It was a rice whiskey, and he poured it for me, and he's like, "I'm gonna get some ice for it," and I was like, "Well, not for me." And I'm not a whiskey guy. Like
Yeah.
every time I think whiskey, I think Jameson. I don't
Yeah.
like that stuff.
Yeah.
And it was smooth. It was
Yeah.
delicious.
Yeah.
We drank the whole bottle,
Wow. Jeez.
but not one cube of ice went in my glass. And he's like, "No, you don't want ice." I'm like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
It takes away from it.
Yeah.
Unless you're adding additives like a cocktail, I don't want.
Who
ice
was it with?
touching
My
me.
cousin, you said?
Yeah, Frankie. Yeah.
Frankie? Yeah. Doing a whiskey.
And
huh?
I owe him a bottle of rice whiskey. It was dude, it was delicious.
Where do you get rice whiskey? I never heard of rice whiskey.
I don't know. I got to find out
I
what
just
it
think
was.
sake, but that's not rice
No,
whiskey.
it was really, really good.
It's rice wine. But yeah. Well. Oh,
And we went through the whole bottle. The whole
just you two?
Oh, yeah. It was bad. It was bad.
I haven't seen my cousin in a while, man. What's he doing, right?
Yeah, he's doing good. He's
Yeah.
doing good.
Yeah. Good.
His a buddy that he works with makes bourbon.
Okay.
So he's gonna snag me a bottle.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll put it on the show if you want.
Yeah, homemade bourbon, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, we're at that time.
Yeah, we're
so
at that time.
This was a cool episode. We just did bourbon. If you noticed, there was no beer involved. We talked bourbon the whole time. This is delicious.
Yeah, it's good, man. And as far as collecting versus drinking, some people, John's a drinker.
I'm a drinker.
Some people are more collectors. And just to reiterate what we were saying and everything, like I've seen people like that postings on these bourbon groups, and they'll post like all their collection and nothing is opened. You are going to get people are going to really you're going to hear from a lot of people getting pissed off like, dude, do you drink that stuff? Do you drink it? Whatever.
And that's the thing with me with being a bourbon drinker is I'll buy a bottle and then I'll buy another bottle and I'll buy another, and my wife is like, "Aren't you going to finish that before you buy that?" And I'm like, "No, because I want to drink that too."
It's different.
You
It's
know?
different. They're all different. But if you're gonna grab it and you're gonna buy it, okay, it's cool. Like I mentioned before, at least to me, to have a couple like maybe Buffalo Trace antique collection that you don't, whatever. You want to keep them sealed. Okay, I don't think it's a big deal. I think it's cool. Just in the future with the changing in bourbon prices and things like that, it might be a good investment to have. That's all it is for me. It's strictly investment a lot of times.
Or before we go, like I have a Buffalo Trace that's just Buffalo Trace. The regular
like
old
the
school
one
Buffalo
over there,
Trace.
yeah.
Yeah. I have that at home. I bought it. I had a couple drinks out of it. It's not one of my favorite go-tos.
I make old fashioned sometimes with it.
I like having it on hand.
Yeah.
Because it's a Buffalo Trace product.
I know.
If somebody comes over, sometimes they're like, "Oh, that's Buffalo
Yeah.
Trace. Let me get some of that."
Yeah, but grab that bottle, that white top bottle by your knee. That's Buffalo Trace.
Right.
Antique, ancient age there. So it's like, that's like a $15 bottle, and it's people, whatever. I've had it. I don't think it's that great, but ancient age by Buffalo Trace right there. We'll put it on the show one of these days. But yeah, it's like one of those. Sazerac is Buffalo Trace or rye, but I like Sazerac for old fashions though. So
Sazerac I bought for my old fashions, and I have never drank it by itself.
yeah,
Do you drink Sazerac by itself?
I may have. I'm not sure. But then even Blanton's though is made at Buffalo Trace, but it's technically owned by someone else. I don't know.
Billy Blanton.
Billy Blanton, but no, it's there's a lot going on with all this stuff.
Same with the Weller, right?
Yeah, Weller, E.H. Taylor, yeah, Stag, Rock Hill Farms, Elmer T. Lee. Yeah, I mean it's all Buffalo. But yeah, on that note though, let's start wrapping things up. We're going too long on this one. So we've got Michter's Barrel Strength Rye, fantastic. We liked it. Approved. 1 to 5. What do we give it?
4.63.
Wow, that's pretty high.
Yeah.
Wow, that is really high, huh?
On a normal scale, I'll go 4.5 on that.
Yeah.
I can drink that all day.
I'd
We
give
can
it
just keep filling up, and I'll keep drinking.
4.1 for me. I think it's good.
All right.
It's great. Solid. I've had awesome ryes, but that one's really good too, though. Cheers to Michter's. Awesome stuff. John, good times.
Good times.
Cheers to you guys. All right.